So last night we explained in great detail how the abusively biased left-wing press is doing you, the American people, such a great disservice by not telling you the truth, by having an agenda, and in turn, they have created what I called last night a massive informational crisis. Now today, after endless attacks from the alt-left propaganda media, President Trump is now fighting back and in a big way by calling out the press directly and also setting the record straight. Take a look.
I'm making this presentation directly to the American people with the media present, which is an honor to have you. This morning, because many of our nation's reporters and folks will not tell you the truth and will not treat the wonderful people of our country with the respect that they deserve. The press has become so dishonest that if we don't talk about it, we are doing a tremendous disservice to the American people. Tremendous disservice. We have to talk about it to find out what's going on, because the press honestly is out of control. The level of dishonesty is out of control. I'll tell you something. I'll be honest, because I sort of enjoy this back and forth, and I guess I have all my life, but I've never seen more dishonest media than, frankly, the political media. I thought the financial media was much better, much more honest. There's nobody I have more respect for, well, maybe a little bit, but than reporters, than good reporters. It's very important to me, and especially in this position. It's very important. I don't mind bad stories. I can handle a bad story better than anybody, as long as it's true. And, you know, over a course of time, I'll make mistakes, and you'll write badly, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay when it is fake. I think it should be straight. I think it would be, frankly, more interesting. I know how good everybody's ratings are right now, but I think that'd actually be better. People, I mean, you have a lower approval rate than Congress. I think that's right. I don't know, Peter, is that one right? Because, you know, I think they have lower, I heard lower than Congress. The public isn't, you know, they read newspapers, they see television, they watch. They don't know if it's true or false because they're not involved. I'm involved. I've been involved with this stuff all my life, but I'm involved. So I know when you're telling the truth or when you're not. I just see many untruthful things. And I'll tell you what else I see. I see tone. You know the word tone. The tone is such hatred. I'm really not a bad person, by the way. No, but the tone is such, I do get good ratings, you have to admit that. The tone is such hatred.
Now, President Trump, he did not stop there. He also talked about the massive mess that he has inherited and what he's doing to fix it. Take a look.
I inherited a mess. It's a mess. At home and abroad, a mess. Jobs are pouring out of the country. You see what's going on with all of the companies leaving our country, going to Mexico and other places. Low pay, low wages, mass instability overseas, no matter where you look. The Middle East, a disaster. North Korea, we'll take care of it, folks. We're going to take care of it all. I just want to let you know. I inherited a mess. We've begun preparing to repeal and replace Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster, folks. It's a disaster. Jobs have already started to surge. Since my election, Ford announced it will abandon its plans to build a new factory in Mexico and will instead invest $700 million in Michigan, creating many jobs. And one more thing. I have kept my promise to the American people by nominating a Justice of the United States Supreme Court, Judge Neil Gorsuch.
Now, President Trump continued by speaking about Michael Flynn's resignation and the massive amount of leaks coming from the government bureaucracy about his administration. Big problem. Take a look.
Mike Flynn is a fine person, and I asked for his resignation. He respectfully gave it. He is a man who there was a certain amount of information given to Vice President Pence, who's with us today, and I was not happy with the way that information was given. He didn't have to do that because what he did wasn't wrong. What he did in terms of the information he saw, what was wrong was the way that other people, including yourselves in this room, were given that information. Because that was classified information that was given illegally. That's the real problem. And, you know, you can talk all you want about Russia, which was all a, you know, fake news fabricated deal to try and make up for the loss of the Democrats, and the press plays right into it. How does the press get this information that's classified? How do they do it? You know why? Because it's an illegal process, and the press should be ashamed of themselves. But more importantly, the people that gave out the information to the press should be ashamed of themselves.
Now, President Trump also addressed Russia after fake news, hit pieces insinuated that he may have direct ties to the country. Watch this.
The Daily New York Times wrote a big, long front-page story yesterday, and it was very much discredited, as you know. It's a joke. And the people mentioned the story. I noticed they were on television today saying they never even spoke to Russia. So the three people that they talked about all totally deny it. And I can tell you, speaking for myself, I own nothing in Russia. I have no loans in Russia. I don't have any deals in Russia. President Putin called me up very nicely to congratulate me on the win of the election. He then called me up extremely nicely to congratulate me on the inauguration, which was terrific. But so did many other leaders, almost all other leaders from almost all other countries. So that's the extent. Russia is fake news. This is fake news put out by the media. The whole Russian thing, that's a ruse. That's a ruse. And by the way, it would be great if we could get along with Russia, just so you understand that. Hillary Clinton did a reset. Remember, with the stupid plastic button that made us all look like a bunch of jerks? Here, take a look. He looked at her like, what the hell is she doing with that cheap plastic button? I would love to be able to get along with Russia. Now, you've had a lot of presidents that haven't taken that tack. Look where we are now. Look where we are now.
And finally, while his temporary travel ban executive order is being held up by the most liberal court in the country, the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, the president made very big news about issuing a new executive order to keep you, the American people, safe. Let's look at this.
We will be issuing a new and very comprehensive order to protect our people, and that'll be done sometime next week, toward the beginning or middle at the latest part. As far as the new order is going to be very much tailored to what I consider to be a very bad decision, but we can tailor the order to that decision and get just about everything, in some ways more, but we're tailoring it now to the decision. We have some of the best lawyers in the country working on it, and the new executive order is being tailored to the decision we got down from the court.
All I can say is wow. Now, what we saw today was a historic beatdown of the alt-left propaganda media, and they had it coming. Now, we've been showing you example after example of the press purposely distorting the president's plans and his agenda. It's very refreshing to see a commander-in-chief who will fight back against all the dishonesty, all the smears, set the record straight with you, the American people. And